everybody, how is it going? It is your pal, Sal here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a video for you guys that a lot of people, and like this is the first time that this has happened to me where I finished the discography journey and a lot of people have gotten a lot of comments saying, when's this coming? We want it. Well, like I always say, I like to make sure I take a little time before I do this, but today we are here to rank personally, all of Janet Jackson's studio albums out of 11, so we're going from 11 to 1. So as many of you guys know, the past 2 months, so February and March, I reacted to every single one of Janet Jackson's studio albums, 11 of them to be exact, and I feel like I learned a lot. One of the things that I love about doing this channel is that I just get to learn a lot of new music. I get to respect icons a lot more. I get to know more albums, and at the end of the day, that's one of my favorite things to do. And the reason why I decided to finally do this video today is because I've had this list pretty locked down. I just wanted to make sure it was correct. After I finish the journey, I want to make sure I give the albums time. Some things can change, and you'll be shocked by actually a couple of these where they're ranked. But I just knew that I wanted to give it the time. And today, it was so funny. I decided to listen to her greatest hits album, Number Ones, which is the only 2 CD set number ones you can get, that's what you want when you got a long discography. And what I found really funny is looking through it, I was like, wow, this hit here is missing, this hit here is missing. Like, she just has so many good songs, and I'm really glad I went through the albums to kind of learn what I fell in love with and what I think is just some of the hits. I'm like, there's a couple better songs than that, I'll tell you that much. So yeah, I wanted to give this time to go through and, reflect, feel what I feel, but I am confident and ready to share with you guys today my ranking of all 11 of her studio albums. So I think the best thing to do is to get started. So we begin, we're gonna go from least favorite to most favorite, and number 11, I think should come as absolutely no shocker because it is Dream Street. This is an album that is there. It's bad. I mean, listen, if anybody else had released this, I think it would have been fine. But for Janet, this is just so underwhelming. I mean, the only song I really like off of this album was only written during the sessions and not even released on the album. We'll talk about that one a little later. But with what is on the album, I mean, Don't Stand Another Chance is fine. It's kind of cool to know that the background vocals were done by her brothers, especially Michael. 2 to the Power of Love, just is wrong. It's not right. Pretty Boy, Dream Street kind of has a cool haunting ability about it, but nothing there. Communication, the computer song, well, I will give her this. We'll say the one cool thing about this album is that she's done this twice. She's talked about computers way before the computers and the internet, before they were ever even really a thing, so I admire that. That is cool. But this album, at the end of the day, there is nothing you need from it, which, unlike the rest of the other albums, I could argue you do. So Dream Street is a nightmare, if you will. Okay, for album number 10, this is one that I actually thought I was going to rank a slight bit higher, but then when I thought about it, I was like, okay, Sal, you only really love 3 songs on this album, so it's like, how can you, say that? And that is her debut album, Janet Jackson. So fun fact, I actually now own this on vinyl. I bought it from a guy on Discogs, and he lied to me, and he was like, yeah, it's in perfect condition. Didn't even send it to me with the damn cover, and he was like, well, I never said it had the cover, and I was like, okay. Reported to PayPal, and thankfully I got my money back, and I still ended up getting to keep this. Unfortunately, it skips a lot, so I really can't enjoy it all that much, but it's kind of cool to know that I now own this. But in regards to this album, there are 3 things you need off of here, and that is about it. So the first 3 songs, Say You Do, You'll Never Find a Love Like Mine, and Young Love, are great. They sound so classic, so organic, so beautiful, so young and free. I mean, I don't have one bad thing to say about them. Apparently, though, on the CD version, which is also the one that is on streaming, the version of Say You Do is the extended mix, which has the extra weird long intro, which you don't really need, but considering that's the only version you can kind of get on streaming and on CD, I guess it's worth it. But the vinyl version, it just picks up the pace a quick little bit, you know what I mean? Those songs are so great. Say You Do, the strings, it sounds so 70s. It sounds almost timeless in a way, even though, it's the 70s, but I mean, something about it just feels right. The rest of the album, I think, is fine. I think the material, because I think it's a tad bit cornier than Dream Street, I think it helps that a little bit in a weird way. So Love and My Best Friend, while it's stupid, it's cute. I get it. Apparently she was 14 when recording this. I get it. Forever Yours is cute. The Magic is Working is cute. The rest of the album tracks are cute. Some could say that they're god-awful, but because they're so campy, corny, I can accept them. You know what I mean? But this is an album that I feel like out of the first two, I'm the happiest I listen to, because let me tell you something. I will jam my little ass off to Say You Do and Young Love, da 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 da. And I unfortunately know I've not really covered any live performances or music videos yet, but I've seen her perform Young Love when she was literally young, and it's so cute. So I stan those songs. This album is serviceable for the time. Okay, album number 9. This is one that I think might shock a few people, because I really thought these next two were going to be flip-flop, but it really came at the end of the day. I was like, the best thing about this album is the lead single, and this album that we're talking about in question is Discipline. What I think hurts Discipline. Now, granted, I love the length. Janet loves a long album. I do too. Not when I'm necessarily reacting to it. But, well, I get it. But, so the lead single for this album is amazing. As for the album itself, it's okay. I feel like this is the least Janet Jackson album to me. Some of the songs, especially, even though, here's the thing, I love Never Let You Go and Greatest X, but boy oh boy, could they have been given to anybody else but Janet Jackson. Janet does elevate them a bit, but let's be honest, the source material is not the strongest. Rock With You is I Want to Rock With You. It's cute. As an album, this one feels the least albumy to me. I feel like I did like the interludes with, Kyoko, like, Miss Janet, how are you? There's some cute things about it, but I think at the end of the day, while, you could argue it's a better album for your own personal taste from 20 years old, something just doesn't feel, and this was a comment I saw, and I was like, you know what, you're kind of on the spot there. Something doesn't quite feel Janet-y about it. I love Feedback. We got a great lead single out of it. I think Love is fun. Like I said, Rock With You, Tonight, yeah, even though I don't like the song That's So Much Better, I'm For You, so much better, that kind of caught on, but yeah, Discipline is like a weird one to me, and I feel like if we were talking maybe any other day, maybe I would have ranked it a little higher, but for now, I think I'm comfortable with it being there. Okay, now we are on album number 8. This is one that I am shocked. I really thought that this was going to be number 10, but I kind of have made a 360 on it, and I don't know why, but I've actually grown to really appreciate it a little more, and I appreciate, even though I think it's technically 1 minute longer than Discipline, it's definitely to me feels like her shortest album, but that is 20 Years Old, 20-yo, 20-yo. This is an album that I feel like from the get-go people were like, this one sucks. And when I listened to it, I was like, I'm not really feeling it. And then I stood up and I listened to it, and boy, oh boy, did I ever feel like such a fun little hoe. The intro is kind of stupid, but she's like, 20 years. What do I say? I've talked about spousal abuse, but I want to keep it light. I want to keep it fun. I know. I don't know. That's what I do know. And then, what you talk about, shorty? Breathe, bum, bum, bum. So Excited has made a 360 on me. It's become one of my favorite Janet tracks. It makes me, here's what it does. This album reminds me of Paris Hilton's debut and only studio album, which, some people will be like, blasphemy, but listen, that's one of my favorite albums. It's on my wall here, right there. So I've appreciated that. What's the other one? Get It Out of Me, with the only song that I actually really am not in love with is the Call on Me song with Nelly. I feel like that one's just fine. Daybreak is cute. Enjoy is cute. I love the cover for this album. For 20 years old, granted she was probably 30, 40 something. She literally looks 20 years old. It's so young. So I'm happy that this one has grown on me. It's one that you can play and just have it. It feels so light, so breezy, so easy. I think now that, summer's coming, I look at my window right over here and I'm like, ooh, get me so excited. I'm hot. So I'm happy that this is one that I've grown on. Compared to to the rest of the material, it kind of does fall a little flat, but I've made my peace with it and I can enjoy it. And there's a song called Enjoy, so see what I did there? Okay, album number 7 is one that I honestly thought I was going to put higher, but in a recent re-listen, I really thought, You got a lot of filler, don't you? And that is Damita Jo. This album, I feel so bad for what she went through because she did not deserve that radio ban. There were definitely some songs on here that could have been hits. Again, like I stick by what I said in my reaction video, I don't hear a #1 hit on this album, but I definitely hear some hits. At least #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. She's had much better luck on every other chart. But we start so good on this album. Now let me tell you something. I love Damita Jo. Strawberry Bounce, Sexhibition, the everything on this. I've even grown to like My Baby. Still fucking hate Kanye West, but My Baby, it's good. I can't lie. Spending Time with You, or when she's like, The Islands, Anguilla, that's my favorite. I love a good book. And then Island Life, All Night Don't Stop, R&B Junkie. I feel like where the album starts to take a little bit of a turn is that right after we get through Thinking About My Ex, let me tell you something, Warmth and Moist, some of the worst sex songs she's ever, they're not interesting. I feel like she had All For You, she had Would You Mind, and then she said, let's try and do it again, and it doesn't work. When you go as far as Would You Mind, there's nowhere else to go. That's what Madonna learned when she did Erotica. Where else could she go? She couldn't go further. So she had to retreat back a little bit. These two, they're what kind of kills the album for me, because after that, I don't really love Truly. I do like Slow Love. Just a Little While is fun, but it's so jarring to me to think that that was the lead single. The bonus tracks, I'm Here and Could This Be Love, cute. I would have really enjoyed both of them being on the standard pressing. But the album, this one just feels the longest, especially when I have it in my iTunes right here. It comes in, clocks in at exactly 1 hour and 18 minutes. It feels long. And when you listen to it, you're like, damn, we're still going. We're still going, Damita! No, one thing I will say is that I think that this is easily my favorite Janet Jackson album cover. I think because I've had the most fun mimicking it. I love that photo I took of it with the thumbnail. I actually just recently, because I'm getting better at matching fonts, so I actually fixed the font to match the Damita Jo and the Janet a little more, so go check that out if you haven't. But yeah, Damita is a lot of filler, but also a lot of fun. Okay, album number 6 is, well, let's just be quite honest, it's The Velvet Rope. So before I proceed, I want to thank you guys, because I understand that this album is critically hailed. Everybody loves it, and I want to say that I feel like I was fair in my reaction to it, but it wasn't my favorite, and I was very clear about that. And people were mostly, for the most part, like, you know what, I get it, these are experiences that you haven't necessarily gone through, like, it's just some things that, you know, you just can't connect to. But what I will say is that this album has, you know, it's also gotten a lot better in repeat listens for me. It really helps when you listen to it all the way through, straight through. I mean, it's so cool. I love the intro, it twisted elegance. And then into The Velvet Rope. I love Got Till It's Gone. I think it's, oh, that song is so good. My Need, Go Deep. This album, I will say, my favorite, okay, so basically the gist is that I really love the first half. And then right after, you know, even though it's like, for me, right after Empty, that's where, for me, the album starts to get a little, not my favorite for me. Like, I do like What About, but I think, I don't know, something about me doesn't necessarily connect to it. I do like I Get Lonely. Rope Burn isn't precisely my favorite. I love the like little jingle thing that they have in it. I love Special. One of the things that I have to say, and I'm sad I can't show it to you on here, but the song that really sticks out for me the most on this album is the weird bonus track, God's Stepchild. The quality of it was so poor on YouTube that I actually went on eBay and I bought the soundtrack to the movie it's from, Down in the Delta, just so I could have it, because I was like, this song, I actually don't know why, but I really, really love it. And fun fact, I've now seen the film Down in the Delta, and it was a cute little film. Not, you know, it had a really good cast, it was sweet, it was nice, it was a quick little watch, and I enjoyed it, but weirdly enough, the song isn't even in the movie, it's just like on the soundtrack, but I really like God's Stepchild. I couldn't find the CD, I don't know where it is in my house right now, but what am I gonna do? So yeah, The Velvet Rope is one that I've grown to appreciate a lot more. I get its significance, I get what it means to a lot of people. It doesn't necessarily mean that to me, but I appreciate it, and it's grown a lot more on me, and I like it now. Okay, album number 5 is, It's all for you. This is an album. Now, before I even get started, I want to apologize once again. I made a very fatal mistake of not liking You Ain't Right. And granted, I don't think it's anybody's like favorite song, but my reaction to it is kind of shocking to me because I even brought out Wendy Williams to be like, what was that? And you know, at the time, I guess I kind of was like, what was that? But when I learned about the history of this song and that the gist of it is, about her like friend who tried to get her to try a drug or something, and she was like, you ain't right for that. And I was like, you know what? I kind of like it now. Weird opener to the album, but regardless, I love the intro where it's like, 1, 2, ga, 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 ga. And she's like, you sound like Fran Drescher. I didn't even pick up on that the first time, and I was like, oh my god. All for You, obviously an iconic song. Come On, Get Up. I don't remember if that was a single or not, but let's just say it should have been. I've really grown on When We Ooh, China Love, Ooh, Maybe, with Love Scene. Ooh, Would You Mind? I mean, I didn't even get to come. Did you? That's iconic. I mean, Trust. Son of a gun. I mean, I've been walking around my house and I go, ha ha, hoo hoo. Thought you'd get the money too. Greedy motherfuckers trying to have that cake and eat it too. I mean, I really like this album a whole lot more now. I feel like it's a bop from beginning to end. I feel like they're really, you know, at first I remember thinking that there was filler on here, but I feel like every song sticks out. I mean, I like Truth. I mean, the fact that she was willing to say F you to her ex-husband. She's like, this is the truth right here. And she spoke the damn truth. Someone to Call My Lover. Doesn't really matter. It's, you know, here's the thing. I will say probably out of her #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100, Doesn't Really Matter is probably my least favorite. It doesn't really matter what they're about. It's okay to me. It's just not my favorite. The outro, Better Days, and then even that bonus track, Who. I like this album. It's grown a lot more on me. One of the, because you guys know I collect vinyl, and I'm trying, I haven't really bought a whole lot of Janet's on vinyl because I'm really trying to save money. I really, really need to save money. But I really love the picture disc that you can get for this album. It looks adorable. And yes, I'm aware that picture discs are not the greatest quality, but whatever. It's cute, and I want it, but I just have not broken down and bought it yet. But I'm really happy All For You has grown on me. It's a cute, adorable little album, and I feel that it justifies its length. It's a fun little breeze. Okay, album number 4 is the one that basically started it all for her career. It's Control. This album is, you know, it's 10 tracks. It's so content, head to toe. Well, it's technically 9. For me, it's 10 though. It's a whole bop of an album. I mean, it's filled with all the amazing singles. Control, Nasty, What Have You Done For Me Lately? One thing I still want to say, and I will stick by this to the day I die, I do not like The Pleasure Principle. I was really hoping it would grow on me. It has not. I do not care about that song. I'm so sorry, but I want to talk about the songs that I feel are so underappreciated, especially You Can Be Mine. First of all, why they started it off exactly the same as What Have You Done For Me Lately, especially when it's the song before it with the bum. I don't know why they did that. That to me is a little odd, but regardless, You Can Be Mine is a bop. Should have been a single. It's so joyful. I honestly prefer it to When I Think of You. I like them both, but I love it. Or no, what was, He Doesn't Even Know I'm Alive, Let's Wait a While, funny. I mean, it's funny by the time you get to Funny How Time Flies when you're having fun. You're like, damn, this album just flew by. And I have got to give a shout out to the Japanese pressing bonus track, Start Anew. Holy shit, I so easily put that in my top 10 Janet Jackson songs. It's so strange to me that that was written during the Dream Street sessions and they said, nah, we don't need this one. We'll go with everything else we got, but not this. Start Anew is so underappreciated. My God, I love how it feels like, you know, some people, especially when we talk about Unbreakable in a little bit, one of the songs, Take Me Away, I've read people say that it has like this Japanese pop vibe, and I feel like that is so what Start Anew has too. It just feels so hopeful, so optimistic, so going out there. It feels like it's meant for like an epic moment in like a movie. I love it. I love it. Oh, I love hearing it every time it comes on. I think it's such a good song. Does it maybe not necessarily fit with Control? Maybe. But also, oh my God, I forgot to show you guys this. This album I do own on vinyl now. I got it from the same seller who sold me the, you know, the bad copy of Janet Jackson, but this one's fine. It's an original pressing, and she looks good. There's a little tear back there, but I just care about the cover, really. So, yeah, I'm kind of sad Start Anew isn't on here. I miss it every time I listen to it. So for me, Start Anew is part of Control. I don't care. I love it. I love, love, love it. Okay, album number 3 is Janet period. This is an album that I love it from head to toe. It goes on a little long, especially because like I have the bonus tracks imported, so this album clocks in with everything at an hour and 45 minutes. But oh God, I love everything about it. So obviously the single's iconic. The fact that Throb was not an international like mega musical hit is shocking to me. It is easily one of my favorite Janet Jackson songs. This Time, I think This Time is the reason why that song and The Velvet Rope, because they remind me of each other. What About? I don't like What About as much because I think that This Time is just a little more epic to me. I don't know why they remind me of each other, but they just do. The interludes on here are a little like kind of like irrelevant, but like they are kind of funny. I guess the other interludes on some of the other albums are funny. But either way, I really like What'll I Do, the funky big band. New Agenda is iconic. Okay, I have to say, again, is a song that has generally grown on me. I watched the film, Poetic Justice. Nice little film. I feel like the Janet films I've seen, well, she's not in Down in the Delta, but Poetic Justice was nice. I did not know that Tupac was so hot. Like, I was watching the whole movie and I was like, Mr. Tupac, hello. So I liked it. And it made the song grow on me. It's still kind of a cheesy little song, but it's adorable, especially at the end when she's like, hold me, hold me. My favorite song on this album is actually Where Are You Now? I just love the longing look-backingness of it, which will become even more apparent when we talk about my favorite album. I love that. I love This Body That Loves You. I feel like that song is absolutely gorgeous and perfect. Fun fact, okay, so this is, I hate saying this, I don't like the album version of Anytime, Anyplace. And today, because like I said, I was listening to the Number One's album, the R. Kelly remix is on it, which, you know, we don't want to really talk about R. Kelly. But I like that mix a lot more than I did like this mix on here, so sorry about, you know, the fact of who made it, but it is, I just like the remix a little better. And then, oh my God, the Sweet Dreams outro. Are you still up? Whoops Now, I mean, iconic. We're gonna take a little trip, and then da da da. Oh my God, it's adorable. This whole album is just, this is another one that I really want to get the chance to own on vinyl. I would love to hear it. And the bonus tracks too, I almost forgot to mention these. The 70s Love Groove, and they're all good. They could have all easily been on the album too. I mean, it's such a good album. What is so crazy to me is that Janet is the first artist I think I've ever grown, oh my God. Listen to that has just really went a whole 360 on her sound, because I mean, let's face it, at the end of the 80s that type of sound was not what was hits anymore. She evolved, and I love that. So yeah, Janet period is that bitch, and I love it. Okay, album number 2 is her most recent album, Unbreakable, although hopefully we can stop saying that soon. We could be like that last album that came out, especially if we get Black Diamond. But Unbreakable is just such a good album. I think it combines everything that made Janet such a success into one album. What I love is that, here's the thing, is that I don't believe this, but I think that I'm going to try and make a point here. Especially going through All For You and, well, maybe more 20 years old and Disciplined. It was Janet. Janet was like, you know what, late 30s, early 40s at that stage of the game. And it just felt, the material didn't feel as reflective as of someone her age could sound. And this album, I feel, especially because I think she almost turned 50 right before the album came out, it feels like the album of a woman at 49. She's lived it all, she's seen it all, and she's going to tell us all about it. The joys, the highs, the everything. It's so good. I mean, it starts so beautiful with Unbreakable, a dedication to the fans, which now I feel includes me. Burn It Up, Damn Baby, especially because also, like I said, this was my first like introduction to Janet with these songs. But the songs that I didn't know from this album that are just like, so amazing to me, like Broken Hearts Heal, I could listen to that all day. It's so, gorgeous. What's the other one? Take Me Away, like we were talking about. I love the Japanese pop feel to it. It's just, so gorgeous. I love Lessons Learned. Even though I know I'm only 24 years old, like when I think of all the shit I've gone through in like the past, few years with the end of high school and like college, I've learned a lot of lessons. And sometimes, you just feel that way. And one thing I will say is that it so helps when you listen to some of these albums, fully, because I didn't like Black Eagle when I first heard it, and when I heard how it transitions from Lessons Learned into Black Eagle, I loved it. I love it. I love it. Oh, and Well Traveled. The only song that I just don't really care for is the one bonus track, Love You for Life. You don't really need it. But this album just feels right. It feels right from head to toe. It's unbreakable. You can't beat it. Okay, album number 1, if you haven't guessed by now, it is simply Rhythm Nation 1814. This, I will actually go to my grave and I will stick by this, and I feel that this goes more beyond an opinion. This to me, and this is what I believe, is Janet's best album. The fact that it is still so relevant in this day of 2021, not everybody can say that. These albums that come out right now, they're not going to be as relevant as Rhythm Nation is right now. This is iconic. I have watched the long-form music video, the whole military aspect of it. It's gorgeous. This whole album from head to toe is so perfect. Rhythm Nation, State of the World, The Knowledge, Miss You Much, Great News Guys. Even though I feel like I still stick by the fact that I think that this song sounds like the other two, I Have Grown to Love, Love Will Never Do Without You. You were right. You were all right. I love it. I love it so much. All right, you know, that is like our little preview into, the song All Right, is like our little preview into what was coming next, but it fits so right on this album. Escapade. Black Cat, one thing I will say, I do prefer the single version of Black Cat. The guitar is just much more heavily featured, and you get that 1, 2, 3, 4. That's orgasmic if you ask me. So good. Lonely is probably my least favorite song on this album, mostly because I feel like she tackles the subject of being lonely. Well, I guess they're both a little different, but I feel she tackles it a little better on The Velvet Rope. And then on here we have what I will tell you right here, right now, is my favorite Janet Jackson song, whether it's the album cut or the I'm Begging You mix. Come Back to Me is a song that I am just obsessed with. I don't know why. I don't know why I love Come Back to Me so much, but my God, if I do not listen to it at least twice a day, her vocals, everything, it's so, I even did a poll on my Instagram because I was like, which version do you guys prefer of this song? I love this song. If I'm ever making a list of my top 10 favorite Janet Jackson songs, Come Back to Me, number 1, no doubt about it. I love it. And I can't believe I didn't learn it until February. It feels like it's been with me all my life. I love it. I love it so much. Like, I could cry thinking about that song, but we're gonna keep moving. And then obviously Someday Is Tonight, which I was like, I love how it's like a continuation after Come Back to Me. Everyone was like, no, it's the sequel to Let's Wait a While, which is fair, true, but they still, I feel like they work both ways if you ask me. And the bonus tracks, obviously The Skin Game, iconic, and You Need Me, which I've since learned is about her father, because he did. Iconic. This is, so yeah, that's my ranking. Janet is an artist that I'm so thankful to have finally went through and listened to her entire discography. I cannot express to you how much I think of a oh my God, I cannot talk. Versatile, I can't, what is the right saying? You know what I'm saying. Versatile. I'm leaving this in because I want you to know that this is all on the spot, but you get it. Artist. I've probably reacted to. I mean, everything that she does is just, it's so interesting. And what I have to say is that, you know what, I've learned that, and this is again too, is that, you know, you may not have the strongest singing voice, but as long as you know how to use that and emote your way through a song, you can do anything. And that is so proof of it. I love her voice. I love that it can have this airy quality, but also this really beautiful, lush R&B vibe to it. She can do a whole lot, and she can dance, she can sing. Hell, she can act too! Not everybody can do that. She is an artist that I'm so glad I finally took the time, you know, to go through. Now, granted, I know that there's some singles I missed. In fact, when I was listening to the No. 1's album, I think there's like a couple of songs in there that are singles that weren't on any album that I listened to, and they were nice. One I was like, what was the other one that I liked it? You get the drift. One she did with that Luther Vandross, I think it was, and I was like, hey, this song is cute. this is the discography that I feel at the end of the day, as long, I mean, at only 11 albums, there's nothing that, I feel like if we just cut out Dream Street, it's completely perfect. I'm so glad to have her music in my life. I think that, like I said, she's just such a great artist. I'm so excited to finally go and see, and then again, I act like they've re-announced it, but with hopefully the world changing soon, if she ever does do that Black Diamond World Tour, I'll be there on the main floor, and I will, I pray, my two biggest praise, Janet, if you ever see this, in that set list, I need Throb, and I need Come Back to Me, which she seems to do like 25 million songs per show, so I think I should be okay. But, yeah, I'm so grateful to have her in my life. I'm so thankful to all of you guys who watch these videos. It means the world to me. I had such a fun time doing them. Eventually, I promise we will do some Janet Jackson video reactions, but like I said, my heart is in doing, and I do not know why, because it is so much easier to film a video reaction than it is to sit through an album and edit it, but I feel like I get so much more out of listening to albums, and that's just me, but so grateful I did this. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys ever so soon, and go on a little escapade, and live your life. So, thank you guys so much. I'll see you later. Bye. Oh, I should also say you can follow me on Instagram at Salvador J. Rocha, Twitter at Sal Says Stuff, TikTok at SalRocha1, and I will see you guys ever so soon. You'll come back to me. Don't you worry. Bye.